there, welcome back to Chapter by Chapter. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of habits and how to make lasting changes in your life. If you've ever struggled with breaking a bad habit or forming a new one, you're in the right place. We'll explore the science-backed strategies that will help you make positive changes effectively and effortlessly. So, if you're ready, let's jump right into it. Our journey begins with something we all can relate to: bad habits. Now, many of us have tried to tackle these habits head on, but here's the thing: that approach often leads to frustration and rebounding. Instead, let's delve into the science of habits, inspired by Charles Duhigg's groundbreaking work. Habits, as Duhigg explains, are like loops. There's a cue, which triggers a routine, and that routine leads to a reward. For example, think about smoking. The car might be the cue. The act of lighting up the cigarette is the routine, and the nicotine-induced dopamine release is the reward. Now, let me share a personal story about my dad. For years, he was a secret smoker who only indulged in his habit in the car. Despite my attempts to help him quit, it wasn't until he stumbled upon a book called Hooked that things changed. That book explained the habit loop and helped him understand the root of his smoking habit. The next day, he replaced his cigarettes with miniature lollipops. The key takeaway here? He didn't fight the habit. He replaced the final step of the loop with a less addictive reward. And guess what? It worked like a charm. Have you ever noticed that when you focus too much on stopping something, you end up doing it more? Well, that's because we're wired for action, not inaction. Our brains associate action with rewards. In an experiment, participants pressed a button either to gain $1 or avoid losing one. The result? Those aiming for the reward button acted more swiftly. This principle applies to habits too. Trying to suppress an action or thought often leads to a rebound effect. For instance, a group told not to think about eating ended up eating more than those who didn't try to suppress the thought. Imagine you're driving a car. If you focus too much on the obstacles, you're likely to veer right into them. The same goes for breaking and forming habits. If you concentrate solely on stopping a bad habit, you might end up reinforcing it. Elliot Berkman, a neuroscience expert, explains that telling yourself not to do something still registers that action in your brain. Instead, focus on what you want to replace the habit with, like my dad did with those lollipops. Now, if you're trying to break or make a habit, here's a golden nugget of advice: prioritize sleep. Sleep is the foundation of success, and it keeps your stress levels in check. Remember, stress can lead to seeking out unhealthy dopamine hits. So, the next time you're aiming to break an old habit or build a new one, keep it simple. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many goals simultaneously. Think small, achievable changes, and remember to reward yourself along the way. And there you have it, the key principles behind Law 8. Never fight a bad habit. If you want to make lasting changes in your life, remember to work with your habit loop, focus on positive action, prioritize sleep, and keep it simple. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more insightful content. And as always, share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Thanks for joining me today on Chapter by Chapter. Until next time, keep breaking those bad habits and making positive changes in your life. Remember, your habits are your future.